everyone. My name is Courtney Page Ross. I am a dancer with Camille A and Dancers. Just waiting for people to sign on. I'm so excited to share with you all today about what it's like to be an artist and a dancer with Camille A and Dancers on the road and in the studio, and what that creative process is like. So we're just going to take a few minutes to let everyone sign on. I'm waiting for Jay to sign on so we can talk with my big brother. He's been so helpful and so gracious to kind of be like my mentor in the company, that has helped me to just get situated with the onboarding process. So so we're just going to take a few minutes. I'm waiting for Jay Eastus to sign on. Thank you all for coming and being open and ready to hear about our experiences. Where are you, Jay? There he is. Woohoo! Waiting for Jay. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Hi, Jay.
Hey, wait, can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. It's loading, so I don't know if it's my internet or yours.
Oh, my internet's on fleek, so it's not mine.
All right. Hi, Chloe. Hey, Mom. Yeah, you're still frozen on my end, but we don't really know how to fix that. Okay, and he left. So, like I said, my name is Courtney. For all of you that are just joining, my name is Courtney Page Ross. I am a dancer with Camille A. and Dancers. Yes, Chloe's not my girlfriend. But yeah, so we're just here to kind of share with you what it's like to be on the road with Camille A. and Dancers in the studio. What is it like in the creative process? And here's Jay again. Hopefully this works. Yay!
I'm here.
You're here. Are you ready to rumble this time?
Yeah, I even got intro music, sis.
Yes. Intro.
Let me give y'all some intro music for our.
Yes.
We about to talk about the choreographic process.
Hey, this is my favorite jam to jam out to. My favorite track. I listen to it morning, especially.
Deemed it appropriate to play.
I listen to this song like every morning when we're in season. I love this song.
I listen to this song a lot so I can set it on other people.
Well, haven't made it to that level yet, but we'll get there.
How is everybody? My name is Jay Staten, and I'm one of the company members of Camille A. and Dancers. I'm one of the and dancers. And this is my sis/colleague. I heard her introducing herself. Mm-hmm. Courtney Ross, she's the baby.
I'm the baby of the clan.
So today we wanted to go into and dive into some feelings and some situations and some know-hows and know-nots about the choreographic process and working with such a multifaceted choreographer and person, Camille A. Mm-hmm. So I'll let Courtney tell y'all how she got in the mix, and then I'll talk about how I got in the mix, and we'll take it from there.
Okay, so how did I get in the mix? So I had kind of been around Camille, just seen her at some performances at like APAP. I would kind of follow around, just kind of like following her orbit around. And then I actually got into the company. Let's start from the beginning. So I had transitioned out of a company and kind of given myself time to just kind of explore what new dreams were coming up for me. I gave myself 6 months, right? So let's just start there. I'm very impatient. So I gave myself 6 months, and this is just kind of a testament to how God makes you be patient, and that saying where they say, okay, when you plant a seed, don't dig it up by being impatient. So I have been auditioning and, taking vocal lessons in class, just kind of get situated for the next thing that I knew that I was going to be blessed with. And so I made it to month 4, and I'm like, all right, what's happening? whatever. So I go to the audition for the Met for Porgy and Bess, and I had a great time there. You know, I was jamming out, and then I got cut. And so when I got cut, I was like, I don't know what's happening. I ran out the room. I like locked myself in the bathroom, and I was crying for like 3 minutes. I
She's
don't know what was
drama.
going. Huh? I
You're
know, right? I'm
dramatic.
so dramatic. But I was in the bathroom, like in the stall, like, I don't know what's happening. I got cut. That means I don't know. Like, you know, it's almost 6 months. It's month 4. Maybe I should rethink some things or whatever. So I like finally, I was like, you know what, Court, let's just go and like treat ourselves to like some chicken or whatever. So as I leave, I get a phone call from Camille, and I answer the phone, and she's like, "Hey, Cora, I just want to let you know that I didn't cut you because I think you weren't good enough. I think your audition was amazing." And at the time, she really didn't know what liberty she was gonna have with Porgy and Bess. So she said, I don't know how much dancing is going to be in the production, but I know that you are extremely talented, and I think that you should be dancing a lot. So instead of putting you in the production, I want you to join Camille A. Brown and Dancers. And so, whew, that is my testimony. That is my spiel on how I got to become an and dancers for Camille A. Brown and Dancers. So yeah, that's my story. That's my spiel, and I'm so happy to be the baby of the clan. And I'm excited to see where this journey is going to grow and take me. And I'm excited to be in the family. I get big brother, I get big sisters, and I'm happy.
She gets
How
annoying.
about you?
It's annoying too. That was a joke. Hee. We like a little comedy.
Right.
I didn't met Camille when she came and sat a piece on a company I used to dance for, Philadelphia, and she did an all women's piece. I didn't get to be in the piece, but the piece was fire. Let me tell you that.
Right.
I got to like watch around a little bit, not really be in the process. I then got into this musical called Staggerly, where we had another choreographer, and for whatever reason, we came to rehearsal one day. The director was like, "Just so you know, we lost the choreographer," and I was like, "How?" I was like, "We in Texas, ain't no choreographer. What am I doing here? I can New York, blah 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 blah."
Right.
And this is how God smacks me in my face, and I complain that because 2 days later, Camille A. Brown walked in the room, and I worked at musical, and I got to work with her on some other stuff, and then she asked me like 2 years ago, like, do you want? Could you go on tour with the company? You want to join the company? And I was like, I mean, you like, okay, somebody asks you if you want to, you say yes. If somebody asks if you want to go to the top of the Empire State Building, you say yes. Certain things you just got to say yes, no matter how scared you are about it.
Right.
That was me. I said yeah, and I was scared. I really was. And that broke me into joining her company. Now, because we joined years, we both have differences about our process and how it was learning the first piece of work. I think the first piece of work we both learned separately was New Second Line, which when you learn that piece, you're like, I'm in the company, I'm learning the step. Got it. This is going. And you're like, I got it.
Right.
Then comes your best friend, Mr. Tolerance.
So we were opposite, because my first piece was Mr. Tolerance. So when I joined, and you're going around to like dress rehearsals or whatever, and people say, "Hey, what are you doing? Where are you dancing?" And I say, "Oh, I just joined Camille A. Brown and Dancers." "Oh, what piece are you working on?" "Mr. Tolerance." Everyone's like, "Ooh, girl, woo, have fun." So that was my
about not only about Mr. Tolerance, but about a lot of Camille's works.
Mm-hmm.
It has so many layers,
right?
Where you have to like know the step and the spacing are your given that you know in most dance, but like that character work, baby,
that's a whole different ball game.
That's a work.
That's a whole different ball game.
And for me, getting the steps was the easy part. Really dipping into the character work was hard, and being in a place where the choreographer slash director slash director is not spoon feeding you character choice and telling you have to go deeper, and you think you got the step but you don't have the character, so you don't have the step.
Right.
Especially towards the end of my dancing career, basically that broke down a lot of self-esteem. I had to call my mom.
Okay.
Uh,
But let me just pinpoint and say that Jay has a tap background, okay? So all of these, if you've seen Tolerance, you know that it has a lot of footwork and a lot of rhythms. I do not. The last time that I like tapped anything close to tapping was in high school.
how
So not only was it, it was challenging. Of course, learning the steps was like the easier part, but let it be known that that is not an easy task to get the rhythm for me. Like I mean, I can hear rhythms and I can, think I have a jam, but
I
I was quickly humbled in my rhythmical abilities when it came to learning Tolerance. And so then to have to really, like Jay was saying, kind of break down these layers to really tap into these
and
heavy layered character work.
layer. Like it's not like it's cold outside. You're happy. Those are not direct.
Mm-mm. It's
They're,
cold. It's cold outside. Where are you? How are you feeling? How would that cold make you feel? And on a day when we live in New York City, and so everybody kind of lives somewhere else. But just everyday life is 2020. We have a lot to think about. Some days you want to go into the studio and you're not prepared to like also enter a therapy session. So you definitely being in a company, you have to be willing to be in a vulnerable space, even when that space is uncomfortable. You have to know that you're going to be encouraged, but not encouraged. You're going to be pushed and challenged to go deeper
that's
and become more vulnerable.
it's the steps. It's not like vulnerability on graduation day where you might forget the rest of the speech.
Right.
It's happen. It's vulnerability where you have to stay completely present, and this is where a lot of her work, where you have to stay completely present because you got to remember what you're doing, but you also have to like allow yourself to take into a place that might not feel like it felt the last time you did it, or these new places while you're not getting in. Like Courtney was talking about her and the rhythm. The rhythm maybe comes a little easier for me, but the step still came hard. Like the rhythm may come easy, but the step is filled with so many things.
Right.
That like the rhythm, it's like the girl that has on the bra and the shirt and the jacket and the blazer and the overcoat, and then she got on earrings and things. It's like all of the things, and I'm really good at two things. Layers that I love it. You feel me?
Right.
I would say that her choreographic process really even takes seasoned and make them wondering if they got enough season on them.
Yeah. It's really a testament to how deep you're willing to self-reflect. How much are you willing to add and be open with the space, add to the space, add to the story. It's really been a journey for me, and to just how much am I willing to share, and if I'm not willing to share everything, then what are we doing?
Then what are you here for?
Right, what are you here
What are you
for?
for?
It's been, my journey. I can be open, but as a person, I'm super open, but I can also be kind of guarded and I'm kind of shy sometimes. And so when I got to this space, I think this was, it was an eye-opening experience to see how much more I have to give, how much more I have to say. And, the moment I allowed myself to really come to terms with, Courtney, you have so much more to share. You have so much testimony. You have so much life and light that is inside of you that you can share. And then when you're not, like, if I'm in the space and I'm not sharing 100%, she will call you out and she'll pull you aside and say, hey, I think you're doing great work, but there's more. And it doesn't have to do with your ability, on stage. It doesn't have to do with your professionalism. It doesn't have to do with how much you can pick up the steps. It's just you need
Her
to.
eyes see all, her ears hear all, soul feels all. So and I don't know if you've ever seen any of my colleagues, but they can they're great actors, they're great dancers. So if you got to get on that A train with them, or you're gonna be getting.
Or you gonna get left.
Got on that local.
Want to get left.
It's a pickup company, but it's a pickup for people who bring all of themselves and some of somebody else to rehearse every time.
Right.
We really wanted to speak on that. So we're gonna move this along a little bit. Oh, you know what? I also want to talk about the process with a lot of the company members. Really, we go and set some of her work other places, and I think it also, when you do that and set some of her work on other like colleges or whatever you're doing, it also allows you to like see see it from her point of view, so to speak.
Right.
She also gives you the liberty to like adjust spacing and adjust. I mean, you can't like field day, but she allows you to have this personal connection with her work, which is super, super gracious, which then makes like Camille does a thing where she makes you like care a lot. So if you mess up, you know, she gives you all of this stuff. So you really care. You want to hold the baby. You want to, but don't drop that baby because you feel really, really bad. And you feel like really irresponsible, like you didn't do all that you could. I was just a little
and it goes back to something that we were speaking about earlier, about the accountability and the trust that happens within this company, because you know that she trusts you so much, and you have to be able to trust yourself to step up to the plate. So when you're, it hurts more because she's trusted you, but you also trust yourself. So the moment you mess up, it's not I can fix that. It's like, no,
no.
This is this precious thing that she has given 1,010% into, and I know that I can step into the space and give my 1,010%. So it hurts because
you feel like
I was given 1,000% when I should have been given 1,010.
It's you look at it like your dance credit line. All of the company members are giving you grade A credit, dance credit, because they in order to work with her consistently like that, there's a certain amount of things you have to have in your credit. You got to pay your bills on time. You got to do your right steps. What? Okay. Oh, what y'all? What you all? Wait, what did they say? What's y'all of holding each other accountable and movement show? How does that reflect in the trust? The thing is, I could sit here and try to hold Courtney accountable for her steps, but I got a whole tray of steps that I'm holding myself accountable. I think that we all make sure that we have the same amount of that we have the same amount of energy and the same amount of I cannot think of the word, but we have the same amount of we're coming from the same amount of intention. That's the word.
Right.
And we do a lot of talking, a lot of moving, and none of the dance, because the dance has so much of yourself in it, kind of something different. So we pull each other along or ride along with each other, or that's how we hold each other accountable. You hold yourself accountable. You'll know when you're not doing enough to be in the work.
I think that's just going back to like, let's talk about rehearsal. What is it like to be in rehearsal? So for my experience, I came on and it was only myself, Q, and Sarah that were rehearsing, and that was number one. I was like, wow, we have these new people joining the company, and Camille trusts us so much. It's only one other non-new dancer, I guess, that is in the space. So that already spoke to how much that she trusts and how much she is going to hold me accountable for knowing my steps, or knowing what I need to be able to bring into the space. So then when it's time for the company to get together, you walk into the space, there's no like full company warm up. You walk into the space, literally everyone is in their own corner focusing on, what their steps are for that time. So it just kind of goes back to what Jay was saying. You have to be able to learn that everyone, and be able to watch how everyone is giving their 1 and 10% to be able to step into the space and know exactly what they're doing, know exactly, what character work they're bringing to the space. So just, I think that has been my way to hold myself accountable, is just let me rise to the level of excellence, or even add to it, because I'm in this room because I'm excellent as well. But how can I feed into the excellence that is in this space? And I can only do that if I make sure I go to my corner before Camille comes in. I know what I'm doing. A, B, C, D, E, F, D.
For me, I found myself doing, there were a lot of non-dancer things I had to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, not being told exactly what she wants done because your character you're exploring, this is your character. How do you see it? How do you open it up? How do you flip it out? Not trying to look exactly like the person. We do a lot of social dance. Social dance looks different on everybody. While we're in the same room, we're not wearing the same exact thing socially on our body. So we all do it differently. It's still things that I'm like warming up to. But we're going to move this somewhere else. For everyone to play a couple of games about the process. And right now I'm going to do a lot of true and false with Courtney about the choreographic process. Courtney,
but y'all feel free to answer along with me. I think it'll be
or type in some questions if you feel we may have a chance to get to it. Let's start.
Open it up for questions. There you go.
Courtney.
Uh-huh.
Camille would take 20 minutes out of her day to answer all questions.
False. Funny story, when I first joined the company, I ask a lot of questions just by nature. I'm very inquisitive and very curious. And so when I got into the space with her, I think this may have been my first or second rehearsal with her. She's going through and, like, you know, as we said, the pieces kind of change and evolve every time you perform them. So she's like she's reworking, and I'm like, oh, Camille, I have this question, and she would answer it, and then, you know, I would say, oh, Camille, well, how does this step go? What's this rhythm? And then after a while, she turns around and she goes, why are you asking so many questions? And I was like, oh. First of all, nobody was gonna tell me to stop asking questions, but and it's not
really allowing her to ask a lot of questions, and then after she,
oh my god. Yeah, it's just, it goes to, it's not a shady thing. It's not that she doesn't want you to ask questions. It's just it goes back to trust. And I remember what she said to me is like, trust that I'm going to give you all the information that you need to know. And I just need this time to let my brain do its work. And so every time you stop to ask me a question, girl, you are stopping the creative train.
You're stopping and you're asking questions about how your body and your mind and your experiences should work in the space. And that's not questions she's willing to answer. Those are questions, you know, I love that she don't take questions, because I'll just try stuff, and if it ain't right, she just tell me it ain't right.
No, that was a learning curve. All right, next question.
Ballets will continue to evolve and change even after their premiere. True or false?
True.
The great thing about Camille is that, like, what I like about her as a choreographer is that, like, a piece from 2003, if today in 2020 she doesn't feel it reading the same, or the context has changed based on the time, or like Intolerance, what reality shows were when she first choreographed as opposed to what reality shows are now are different. So she had to go back. She had to go back and, like, make changes. If something is, I love that she makes it so personal on you. Mm-hmm. But if you don't come to work with all your eating all your Wheaties and knowing all your steps, she'll change your step that way too. And that's not usually cute. That don't feel cute because you ain't coming here.
Right.
Are we ready to move on?
Yes, next question.
Camille lets us choreograph out a lot of the steps that, if it looks like we're going off in the corners, because she let us choreograph it.
No.
We do work ill and friend. No tea. No shit.
Your dialogue can be like improv, or, you know,
we talk too.
But whenever we have little breakouts, it looks like we just if I'm doing the WAP, no, Camille has coached me on that WAP. I didn't just pull that
WAP and the Dougie, and why the Dougie is not the Nene, and why she know her history. If your character study is strong, you'll make it through. True or false?
True. Because once your character study is grounded and on point, everything that she's adjusting, or all the sections, will make sense. If you're true to your character, then everything will be smooth sailing.
Once you learn it and know it, you won't be cut.
False. That's false.
That is false.
I was like, wait a minute, what? No, that's
absolutely. gotta learn it, and you gotta have integrity with it until the day you die, or
Right.
you will not do that part.
But even if you are even if you do know it and you're having integrity with it, sometimes like we said, the pieces kind of change and evolve. So maybe this version, she just doesn't want that part right there. And so that's another way to get cut to. It's not personal. It's just, if we're being here, it's not about me. It's about the piece and what story we're trying to tell. And sometimes my character is not necessary for that moment.
So now we're gonna take a question from the audience. This is from a Castro Dance. Do you remember any pivotal moments in your journey as a company member of allowing yourself permission in any way, shape, or form? Yeah, listen. Tolerance ain't no punk, and I know we keep saying that, but the reason fast is energetic, but
Mm-hmm.
also requires a certain emotional connectivity and a commitment to it. And you can watch the tape as much as you want, but I remember like letting myself go. After letting myself go through tolerance, after tolerance is over, it's like, don't talk to me. I'm sitting here figuring out why I don't got a shotgun. I'm not trying to kill a bunch of people right now. Like, once I let myself go in the movement, then I realized that like that's when the notes stop, and that's when notes for myself stop with so trivial things like, oh my God, I missed the ball change when it comes to, but it'll be more like, oh my God, I could go deeper in for this part right here.
Okay, and I just have a quick little insert there. So I think the first moment that I realized that, or I gave myself permission to know that I have so much more to give. We were on tour and we had just done like a full run of tolerance. When I tell you, everybody was on the stage like, and Camille picks up that mic and comes up and says, "Was that full out?" And I was like, I didn't say a word because for me, I knew that, I felt that, let me say, not knew, but I felt that I had given, I had done it full out, but I also had to give myself permission to say, oh, this run, I was more focused on what the steps were, and I wasn't really bringing my 100% character onto the stage. So,
I'm sorry to cut you off, but the way we're describing her, like she's like, real, like Camille's like one of the most sweetest and like consistent and like straightforward bosses I've ever worked for. It has no energy. It's not shady. It's not. I'm shady, but she not shady.
no,
She.
it's not shady. It's just genuine. I know that you can do more, and I'm going to ask you for more, and I'm not going to hold your hand through that. Was that full out? No, it wasn't. And you know the answer, which is why I didn't say anything, because I was like, oh, well, if we're
Want to know
speaking
if it was
about.
full out or not? Watch her do her part, and she'll show you what full out is. That's the other T. When your boss is doing the
So,
stuff.
she isn't a monster. She is sweet, considerate. It's all love. Absolutely.
Yes, it is. That's.
I'm going to go ahead
Um.
okay, we have another question.
Go ahead.
Ambitious Ambitious Jazzy says, how do you all develop your characters for yourself? What's the process of this, or emotional roller coaster of it? What does integrity look or feel like?
Okay. I know there's been a lot of rehearsals where we're just talking. We're
Mm-hmm.
doing study about these characters and what they look like and what they feel like. You said, what does integrity feel like? It's funny what honesty feels like in the room and what honesty doesn't feel like in the room. Like, and people, it's so, not being honest is such the wrong place to be in that room, because most people are going to be so honest that you're just out like a sore thumb, So like, that's what I noticed. It's like, I fake this shit as much.
He's
I
breaking
can
up.
much as I
Oh
can.
no, he's breaking up on my end.
Everybody holds it so like.
So I don't know if I should add him back or if that's an internet thing. But I'm going to say my character development. Well, number one, when I joined, I got a like a study guide of books and things to look into and kind of do my research in for Mr. Tolerance. And so I watched this really cool documentary, not documentary, it's a play actually called The Color Museum. And it's a play that came out in, I believe, 1986 by George C. Wolfe. You can find it on YouTube. And so it's just a glimpse into a satirical take on all of these experiences and themes that we learn and see from TV in the Black experience. So I think for me, it was allowing myself to be uncomfortable in what it feels like to put myself as a mammy, or put myself as a video victim, or present myself as a thug, because it's not comfortable. And so integrity for me was allowing and giving myself permission again to be uncomfortable, to really step into that role that we were trying to portray, because Mr. Tolerance is raw. Mr. Tolerance is, it's a really harsh, well, not harsh, but it's a really just honest take on, what is happening, what we're seeing within the Black community, what's being presented to the media as what Black people are, who Black people are. And that is not something easy, because I want to, we always want to say we want to hold ourselves to a beautiful standard, but in reality, that's not the way we're presented. And the only way to really show that is to step into that uncomfortable space. So for me, it was really taking in all of the study guide and all of the, the resources that I had been given, and really just finding how I fit, and allowing myself to be uncomfortable to tell the true story. So that's my take on character work. Let me try to add him again. I know it's kind of time.
Picture that sometimes, like very uncomfortable.
Let me try to add him. Sorry guys, I know we are in we have a few minutes left. I'm going to try to add Jay back again so that we can finish this as a team. Hey, he's back. And
I thought they cut me out because it was a half hour.
No, you're here. I know we have only, let's say, maybe 2 more minutes.
Okay.
We can have one last question.
What tactics and practices do you use to find a balance between letting go within the character discovery research without letting your personal emotions and experience overpower the space? I say let your personal emotions overpower the space. Why not? I mean, you can never never overpower the space. That's why we rehearse. But I know what I'm trying to do is let my personal emotions really take heed, and really, like, I want it to be honest, and I want it to be real. And when you want to cut somebody out, you want to cut somebody out. When you want to be mad, you want to be mad. And the stage is the place where you don't have to hold it back. I mean, you hold it back for different sections. You can't be so loud. You can't be so, with dynamic. But like, no, I try to let that girl run. Try to let her all out, And to tell me to pull it back. I'd rather come on the scene with chicken wings for a bunch of people that ain't there. So you could tell me I got too much, than only come with chicken wings for 2 people when there's 20 people there and I got too little. I can't do nothing with that. You feel me?
Right. I'll say to as Jay was saying, let your emotions become a part of the space. It's a very real thing. To put yourself in that character, and the only way to make it honest is to bring your experience and bring whatever emotional language you're having within yourself, bring that to the space, allow that to fuel the story that you're having. Because, if we're creating a story and we're taking a look at what it was like to be in the 1940s, I don't know what it was like. So I have to be able to bring my authentic experience and my authentic emotions to be able to create a real story. Because if not, if I just go basically on only what I think it was to be in the 40s, that's not honest, and it'll be something else. So the only thing that I have is my authentic story. And of course it can be shaped and molded to fit to make sure that, you know, it's current or relevant. And so that goes back to the study guide. We'll get a list of cool terms that the 40s were. So I'm not in 1940 saying, oh girl, you lit, oh girl, period, on stage, you know, just to make sure that it's relevant. But at the end of the day, that is 2020 Courtney being in the space and being honest. So whatever I was going through that day or whatever I was feeling, that is fueling my character work.
I also like to go so deep that, like, if I had a headache that day, I don't have a headache when it's time to do the 20s or when it's time to do the 80s, because I'm now scratching into a different person who don't have the same issues, who don't have a headache. It's funny, I kind of like, while I lose myself on stage, I lose myself in the conditioning from walking through the wing onto, because once I'm one of the characters in Tolerance that once I go on, I don't really go off until like
there.
So you got to bring all those people with you.
There. All right, so it's 1:36. Well, 2:36. I'm sorry. I'm in New Orleans, so I'm in a different time zone here. But I kind of want to do just one more true or false thing with the audience. I'm gonna do just two of them because I know we have to go. But okay, so audience, if you're still out there, I'm gonna do a little quick 2 truths and a lie with you. The first prompt is, let me find it. So my first prompt will be, the full company does not go on tour every time. The second prompt is, each dancer is hired from a Camille A. Brown and dancers audition. And the third is, the company rehearses Monday through Friday, 12 to 6.
I know.
Okay, so which one is true?
True. Every company member doesn't go on every tour. Your second one was what now?
Second one, each dancer is hired from a CABD audition.
No, I wasn't hired from a CABD audition, and neither was Courtney, so that's not true. And the lie is, what was your third one?
Oh, the company rehearses 12 to 6.
My soul would allow me to rehearse. I remember we had to do Tolerance for like 2 weeks because getting ready for the Joyce. Baby, I was coming home, bro. I would see somebody on CNN and be like, yeah, I don't know if my soul could handle 5 days a week.
Right.
Because
it would just be too heavy. And okay, let's do one more and then we'll go.
One more.
2 truths and a lie.
Okay.
Spike Lee came to our most recent Joyce season. 2, Mr. Told Errants was inspired by the Spike Lee joint Do the Right Thing. 3, there is a reference and resource guide for Mr. Told Errants. Which one is true?
True. The first one is true. The last one is true. Mr. Tolerance was actually inspired by Spike Lee's Bamboozled.
Bamboozled. There it is.
Not Do the Right Thing.
So that goes back to the character work.
Well, we have to go now, but catch us next month. We have another one. Mask on, Mask Off is what it's called. We would love to see you here, but our colleagues and company members are giving these things all throughout the month. They're very informative. Some are talks like this, some are classes. Come support the company. Come support your fellow dancers. We're trying to make a way through COVID-19. We're still trying to have a presence. And I think we love having these kind of discussions. We love you guys. Thank you for checking us out.
We love you, and check into on Facebook tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Facebook Live. They're going to be streaming Black Girl Linguistic Play, so go and check that out. We love you. We thank you for
always
COVID.
Brown and Dancers. We are a nonprofit organization.
Yes. We love you. Thank you all.
Bye, you guys.
Bye. Love you, Jane.
Love you too, boo.